Hey everybody, it's Jeremy with the Practical IT channel. In this video, we're going to install the Proxmox Backup Server. So starting from proxmox.com/en for English, they've got an option right on the main screen for the Proxmox Backup Server. And we can go to learn more, and it's also available under downloads. So you select Proxmox Backup Server, ISO images, and then you'd go ahead and download that. Now I've already downloaded that, so it's going to save us a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and switch over to VirtualBox. All right, we've got VirtualBox opened up, so we're going to go ahead and create a new VM. And we're going to call that Proxmox Backup Server, or PBS. This is based on Linux and specifically on Debian 64-bit. We're going to give it 4 gigs of RAM and continue. Going to create the system drive, and we're going to give that 10 gigs and go ahead and create. We'll go into settings. For system, we'll turn off the floppy. We'll add a second processor core. Display, we don't need to make adjustments there because it's a headless server, and we'll administer it with the web interface. Under storage, we're going to add a new storage controller. We're going to add a SCSI controller. And we're going to add a couple of disks for this. We're going to say create, and we're going to change the directory. And we are going to put that over here on my external drive. We'll make a new folder. Great, and that'll be PBS1. We're going to make that 15 gigabytes. And I'm going to repeat this process 2 more times. So hold on just a moment and I will be back. As you can see, I have got all 3 SCSI drives installed, or attached rather. They are all 15 gig in size. Since this is a VM and just for demonstration purposes, I've also attached the Proxmox Backup Server ISO image. So we are set to go ahead and fire this up. Alright, so if you've installed Proxmox VE before, you will find this very familiar. The main option is install Proxmox Backup Server. And this will launch here shortly. And it is really quite a quick installation procedure. Alright, so you can read through their EULA, click agree to continue, select the target hard disk for the system drive, and that's going to be the 10 gig drive. Next, choose your country and your time zone. I'm going to find America, Detroit for me. Next, enter a password. And enter an email address. And click next. So for my purposes, this is going to be pbs2.homelab.lan. IP address is fine. Gateway and DNS were automatically detected. Next. And automatically reboot after successful installation, and we just say install. And that's really all there is to doing the installation for Proxmox Backup Server. Once this has finished up here and rebooted, we will jump over to the web interface and do a little bit of configuration there. All right, we are ready to restart. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we've removed the disk from the optical drive. And this does boot quite quickly. And so on real hardware, it would boot even faster. So, thing to take note here is where the Proxmox virtualization environment is on port 8006. Backup server is on port 8007. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the browser and open this up. All right, we'll bring this up for the first time. And it is a self-signed certificate, so we'll have to accept the risk. And it brings up the familiar login box. And of course, it reminds us that we do not have a subscription. Let me make this a little bit bigger. We have nothing listed under data store usage right now. No running tasks. Nothing in the summary or subscription. But we have very low CPU usage, and that's all right. All right, to set up a data store, we're going to come to Administration, Storage, and Disks, ZFS, Create ZFS. We're going to say, I'm going to call it Demo Backup. RAID level. Say RAID Z2. Add as data store, compression on, and you can select the type of compression you want and say OK. And that actually requires 4 disks. My bad. RAID Z. OK. And it will create that. All right, that is done. And it is showing we've got 47.78 gigabytes. And it's online. And it does show up under Demo Backup. So the next step would be going over to our Proxmox VE server. To add our backup server, we're going to be under Data Center, Storage, Add, Proxmox Backup Server. ID is going to be PBS Demo YouTube. Server is 172.16.74.164. The password is already in there. It's the same as the Proxmox VE server. And my data store is called Demo Backup. And so the one thing that you need to be aware of is when it puts username, it's looking for a domain. And so for our purposes, we could say root at PAM and say add. Create storage failed. Fingerprint. not verified. So we need the fingerprint from the server. So we'll come back here to dashboard, show fingerprint, copy, paste this in, make sure we have @Pam, and say add. And we've now got our second Proxmox backup servers. Now we can go to backup, and we are going to add a backup. We are going to select the demo server. Let's say Friday. Start time is 0000. We're going to do selected VMs only. Email. We're going to leave that. Just put a dummy email in there. Mode is snapshot. We are going to select just the unbound VM. Say create, and let's edit that again. Make sure we're doing selected VMs, and that's the one we selected today. We're going to say run now, and yes. Jump back over to our backup server, and our CPU usage is going up, so we should have some traffic coming through. Hopefully we will get some feedback that this has completed. Job detail enabled. Notify on failure only. Node is PVE. Storage is going to our demo backup server. Mode is snapshot, and we're just doing the one container, actually, not even a VM, a container. And that should have gone over just fine. As you can see, the status is running, config locked, it's doing a backup. And we'll see what our network usage is, backup. So when this is done, this should become available. Just for the sake of argument, this has a 30 gigabyte drive attached to it, which is probably way overkill in all honesty. So let's see what we've got over here. RAM usage is up to 23.33%. 24%, and we should be seeing, yep, running task, status, duration, it's still going. And so I'll let this finish, and so we can see what the total time was that it took. Status stopped, okay, so 2 minutes and 53 seconds. We're on the backup server, running task, nothing. Data store usage. Demo backup, running tasks, longest task. This is container 119, 2 minutes 53 seconds. Compression 38%. And it shows down here task summary backups 1, which is good. And data store should give us an idea of what we had going here. Usage 1.24%, 363.75 megabytes, or megabytes rather, MIB is megabytes, of 28.71 gigabytes. Yeah, that's actually a thing, people. So, all right. So that, in a nutshell, is setting up the Proxmox Backup Server, getting it connected to Proxmox virtual environment. And you can also do restorations if you needed to. Just for the sake of argument, this container is back up and running now. Come over here, verify jobs, options, permissions. You can of course add user permissions and API token permissions. So yeah, everything there is good. And that, my viewers, brings us to the end of another Practical IT video. If you got something out of this video, please like and subscribe. There will be more videos talking about Proxmox Backup Server. As I start rebuilding things a little bit, I'm going to be using this as a key component as I go forward. So stay tuned for more Proxmox content, both virtual environment and now the backup server. If you have not taken time to do so already, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave comments down in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. Stay safe out there and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.